Hello and welcome to Piwik PRO video series. Topic of the video: retarget or exclude customers on Facebook ads using Piwik PRO CDP. So what we're gonna learn: to target or exclude customers in Facebook ads, we'll use the customer list type of custom audience. So first, we'll briefly cover what customer lists are and how they are being used. Next, we'll discuss the advantages of using Piwik PRO CDP to create and manage such lists. And finally, we'll provide the step-by-step instructions for integrating the CDP with Facebook ads, and we're gonna take advantage of Zapier to facilitate the process. A customer list is a custom audience on Facebook that lets you upload your own user data like email addresses or phone numbers to create a targeted audience for your ads. It's perfect for re-engaging existing customers, promoting new products to loyal buyers, or exclude current customers from acquisition campaigns to optimize your budget. You can upload your customers' data manually, or you can automate such process using, lo and behold, Piwik PRO CDP. How would that work in a nutshell? We create an audience in Piwik PRO using powerful audience conditions, giving you unparalleled control over audience targeting. And then we send that data to customer list in Facebook ads or meta ads, however you want to call it. And then such customer list can be used in many different ways to supercharge your campaigns in meta. And what would be the key benefits of using CDP for such setup? First, it allows you to leverage advanced audience conditions such as web behavior frequency and recency combined with other first-party data to achieve precise targeting. Importantly, this is done without directly sharing sensitive data with Facebook, ensuring you meet critical privacy requirements. Additionally, the setup sends user automatically and can be configured to include content management, ensuring that only users who have opted in are included in your Facebook campaigns when required. Let's get to the step-by-step instructions part of this video, which is where I explain how to do such a setup, the integration between meta ads and Piwik PRO CDP. So the very first step is to go to CDP, under audiences, click on add an audience. Now I already have an audience, so let's just click on edit, and I just want to share a few things with you. So first one is that we need to have a common identifier between meta and CDP. And in our case, user ID, which is a built-in attribute in CDP and Piwik PRO Analytics, which collects a unique identifier for a user, custom identifier. So the one that is specific for our website, and that could be email, telephone number, user identifier that is being used like nickname or whatever. But in our case, we need to send something that will be useful for meta. So in our case, that's an email address. So on our website, user ID collects email address. So if that value is not empty, it means that we do have value to share. So we need to add that to be able to send something to Facebook. There are other identifiers in Facebook, but we're going to use this one. Next is a lifecycle stage. This is an example of an attribute that is in sync with our CDP, between CRM and our CDP. So we pull that data, we sync that data by taking it from our CRM, and we could use that lifecycle stage is leads. So we could potentially advertise to leads so they become qualified lead or customers, whatever. And we want to have the last value, i.e. the most recent one. But we can imagine some other attributes from other systems such as online surveys, support portals, email marketing platforms. All that data could be in sync with CDP and then used to specify and narrow down our target audience. Next is a content interest, which is an event dimension. So something that we collect on our website. So we could have content interest. Let's say we sell jewelry, and if someone goes to say content related to necklace or products that are necklaces, and they would do that say 3 times in the last say 3 days, but obviously that number can be increased and we can change it to hours or minutes, and obviously we can change those numbers here as well. If a user goes to necklaces type of content or products 3 times in the last 4 days, we could potentially have such audience and such ad campaign that sells necklaces or sort of promotional necklaces in Facebook, and we would send those users to Facebook. So this also brings to mind that we may not necessarily need to use Facebook Pixel if we don't want to. Obviously we could, but we don't need to. So that's another thing. I'm going to remove those. Just wanted to show you what sort of data could be used to create an audience. I'm just going to stick to the user ID. So I'm just going to save it. And that's the first step. Step 2, we need to go to Meta Ads Manager. Important part is that in order to use audiences, the ones that we're going to be using today, you need to have business ads account rather than personal ads account, because there are two types. So you need to have a business ads account. And then obviously I have some fake page that was created for this purposes. But in here, to start with the step one, is that you need to create an audience. So you need to go to audiences. And in here, I have few audiences already, but I want to show you how to create one. So I'm going to click on create an audience. And from here, I'm going to hit custom audience. And here we have all different types of audiences. I want to select one that says customer list. And then I'm going to hit next. In here, there are a few steps that we need to go through. There are specific formatting that you would need to follow if you were to upload your customer list manually. You have a template here, so you can take a look at that. You can take a look at formatting. You can also see it here. We have all different column headers, identifiers, etc. So take a look at this. Also, the data that we're sending to Facebook is being hashed. So in other words, it is being anonymized. Facebook will not be able to sort of just use your data as it may. Take a look at this because it's quite interesting, especially in the context of privacy. I'm just going to skip that part and I'm going to hit next. In here is where you can upload your file if you have a file, but in our case, we're going to be sending data automatically. So I'm going to hit on paste comma separated values. I'm going to enter my own email. So I have one, and I'm going to call my audience CDP, and I'm going to hit next. In here, the great part about it is that if we don't have a column names, we can always map the data. So we can use email address. So that's an email address. So we know it's an email address. Import and create. Here we can create a lookalike audience, create an ad, create another custom audience. I'm just going to hit done. So we have a CDP audience. This is basically a placeholder for an audience to which we're going to send data. Important part is that we need to have at least 100 customers in that audience for Facebook to be able to use that audience. So now let's get to the next part. Step 3 is setting up the data transfer from CDP to Meta ads. We'll use Zapier for its ease of use, but you can also achieve this via API. So I'm going to hit on create Zap. Let's choose a trigger. I'm going to hit webhooks, trigger, catch a hook. Then I'm going to hit continue and continue again. So now it created me a hook. So I'm going to copy it. And now I need to go back to customer data platform, and under activations, I need to add an activation. I'm going to choose the Zapier. And in here, I'm going to name it. So Meta Ads Activation joins. And here is the audience that we created in step 1. And this is the place where we need to paste our hook. So that hook that we copied in here goes here. And underneath is basically the data that we're going to be sending to Facebook. Now, I'm not going to send any attributes, so I'm just going to use user identifier, which is user ID, i.e. email. And under here, we're going to be testing trigger. To test the trigger, I need to send some test data from CDP. So I'm going to hit send test data, test trigger. So we can see the data was sent, user identifier test, and we can continue. And now we need sort of action, which is Facebook custom audience. I'm going to hit that. And in here, action event is going to be add email to custom audience. Now, once we do that, we may as well have another sort of activation in CDP where we remove users upon them becoming a customer, or if they purchase something, we may as well reverse what we are trying to do right now, meaning remove them from the audience to optimize our budget. But I'm going to hit add email to custom audience. And now in here, you would normally connect account, Meta Ads account with Zapier. So we can do it via here by clicking on this button here. Alternatively, you could go to all tools and then business apps and connect Zapier from the Facebook ads end. So already connected the Zapier to Facebook. Normally you would look for Zapier custom audiences and connect it from the Facebook end. Let's go back to the audiences. We're going to need it soon. But let's go back to Zapier. So we have that here. Let's hit continue, custom audience. And here we have our audiences. So if I click on that, I have the list of my audiences. We can see that audience 1, audience 3, and CDP. That's what we see here. So I'm going to hit the CDP one. And in here, as an email, I'm going to click on plus button and I'm going to use user identifier. That's why we had to test our trigger here to have that user ID available here. So I'm going to hit that and now we can continue. and we're gonna skip the test and we're gonna publish our Zap. Before I hit on save on my activation, I just want to explain a few things here. So first of all, you can link the activations with your consent on your website. So you may want to set that this activation, this user data sending from CDP to Facebook ads to Meta ads can be done only when we have a consent, which is highly recommended, especially if you're within EU. However, for my demo use case, I'm just going to leave no consent is selected. In here, you can activate users only once or multiple times. So if you have the mechanism for adding user to the audience and then removing that user from the audience, perhaps if that is happening a few times because the product is being repurchased and we have ongoing sort of ad that targets the same product, and we may want to advertise multiple times. But I'm going to leave it as it is and I'm going to hit save. Finally, let's test our setup. So we've got our audience, we've got our activation that we've done via Zapier, obviously, and then we have our audience that is being linked to the CDP. And now I've opened a website, so I am logged in. So my user ID, i.e. email, is known. That means I should join the audience. So we can see one profile, and that's my email. So that means that one profile is ready to be sent, and I presume it was already sent, and we can actually see that it was sent via the Meta Ads activation, and we can now check that whether it's actually true in the Meta Ads. So if I were to click on that, I can see here when it was created and the usage and the history, and we can see that one row was added. So we can see that our setup is working as intended. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking it and subscribing to our channel. Check the description below to find some useful links like free Piwik PRO sign up page, community forum page, and links to related videos. Until next time.